On this episode of Under the Radar Michigan, it's Escanaba in the Sunlight. But first we stop for some food that's rustic and real. When we finally pull into Escanaba, we discover the Lofty Girls, candy known around the world, and a Swedish emporium of food and fun. And if that's not enough, we show you Escanaba's White Castle, Stonehouse, and what breakfast is like with the original Rosy. Get ready to explore the cool people, places, and things that make Michigan a great place to be.
Under the Radar Michigan is brought to you in part by the Michigan State Housing and Development Authority, investing in people, places, and partnerships to help transform Michigan and the Michigan economy. In cities, towns, and neighborhoods, people are building better places to live and better communities. Also by the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure. The Komen Race for the Cure series raises significant funds and awareness for the fight against breast cancer, celebrates breast cancer survivorship, and honors those who have lost their battle with the disease. More info at komen.org. Also in part by the Brides Project, a charitable bridal shop specializing in high-quality donated gowns. All proceeds help families touched by cancer at the Cancer Support Community of Greater Ann Arbor. Learn more at thebridesproject.org. Support for Under the Radar Michigan comes from Bigby Coffee, celebrating 17 years as a Michigan company. Gift cards, coffee mugs, and coffee by the pound are available in-store and online. Locations at biggby.com.
I've been around the world, but there's one place I keep coming back to. And the more I explore, the more I realize it's the place to be. I'm Tom Dalton, and this is Under the Radar Michigan.
Well, it was time for another UTR-UP adventure, so we loaded up the car, headed north, and, well, you know us, we got hungry. So we pulled off I-75 around Saginaw and stumbled onto a place as unique as it was good.
You know, in most restaurants, they bring the food into the kitchen to cook for you, but at this place, they brought the kitchen outside to where the food is.
Folks, we're at the Maple Grill in Hemlock, Michigan, a restaurant that's taken farm to table to a whole new level. I mean, these tables are actually at the farm. Josh Shading is the young chef who's turning heads and filling stomachs right by the side of the road.
So how did you come up with this whole concept?
Well, about 6 years ago, we started doing maple syrup in our backyard. And this started out, the whole grill here started out as a maple syrup evaporator.
Oh, so this is where you did maple syrup?
Yep. We have a 140-gallon pan that drops in it.
All right.
And we cook maple syrup off. And after a great syrup season, and upwards of 100 people stopping by over the course of the month asking for ribs, it just felt natural to turn it into a restaurant from there.
Well, it's so unusual that you took your kitchen outside to where the fresh food is, because you guys grow your own food?
We have a half-acre garden.
Yeah.
We had 40 maple taps back here in the spring, and we knew we needed fresh vegetables to supply the restaurant. And then after we had everything planned, and we progressed into opening the restaurant.
Well, another thing that's unusual about you is you actually raise some of your own meat.
Yes, we have 8 laying hens currently, and a rooster, and we have our own rabbits in the back. So I've been a backyard rabbit hobbyist and maple syrup producer for 6 years now, and it made sense to convert it all into a farm-to-table restaurant, along with my family members that also raise beef and other local farmers that raise pork and lamb.
So your beef all comes from the neighborhood farms.
Yep.
So it doesn't get much fresher than this. I mean, the kitchen's outside, you're surrounded by the food you're serving. Are you a trained chef?
Yes, I went to culinary school up at Northern Michigan University.
So you knew you wanted to cook?
Yes.
You just didn't realize you'd be cooking out in your front yard?
No.
This structure is awesome. What kind of people? Do people just stumble by like we did? They just drive by and see you?
A lot of people do stop by and just, they ask what this is. A few people yesterday thought this was just a private place. They weren't sure what it was. Yeah. And they came back a few hours later to eat and loved it.
Well, it's like you're cooking and serving food that's grown around you to the people who live around you. It's like this is how it used to be 150 years ago, and all of a sudden it's like we're all discovering that this is the way you do it.
Now, even though the menu changes every day depending on what's available, one thing stays constant at the Maple Grill, and that's family.
Now, do you work for Josh or with him? I mean, you're his dad.
I think it's really with him, even though this is Josh's whole thing. The whole family, we all kind of work together.
Now, did you help him build the structure?
Yeah, we built all the substructure and everything, and Josh and his brother Chad actually did all the stonework.
You must be proud of him.
Real proud, yeah.
Because it's an unusual concept. He's doing it right.
Yeah, and it's hopefully it's good food and everybody likes it.
And trust me, they do.
My wife and I can come here and we can get fresh products that are Michigan-based, that the local farmers produce.
We come probably at least once a week, if not twice a week, to eat. So it's just wonderful.
I think it's a total experience as opposed to just good food, which it was, but it's very unique.
The flavors just pour right through. He just knows what he's doing. It's great.
Well, we couldn't come all this way without tasting it for ourselves, and believe it or not, all those people were right. It was awesome. So next time you drive past Hemlock, stop and experience the great fresh food, great people, and great atmosphere at the Maple Grill. Now, time to get back on the road. We're UP bound. And before we knew it, we were there.
Now, if you never saw Escanaba in the moonlight, don't worry about it. We're going to show you what it looks like in the daylight.
Escanaba is another great reason to love Michigan's Upper Peninsula. It's 11 city blocks of great businesses, shops, and restaurants that all lead right down to the beautiful shores of Lake Michigan. It's the good life, UP style. Escanaba is located on the southern shores of Michigan's Upper Peninsula, about 5.5 hours northwest of the Maple Grill, if you're keeping track.
You know, a lot of people are opening breweries here in Michigan, and that's a good thing. But you're about to see somebody who's using an old brewery to help change an entire town. Look, there it is.
It's called the Lofts of Ludington, and it's an old building renewed to create multi-use space that's helping attract new energy downtown. Matt Sphelan and his wife Beth had a dream to convert this classic structure.
Okay, explain that momentary lapse of sanity that you had when you saw this giant building and you decided, hey, I can redo that place.
Well, you know, it was kind of pointed out to us, and our first response was, no, I don't think so. But I kept on driving by it, and it really intrigued me. It's a cool building, as you saw from the outside. It has great architecture. And after a while, I called the number on the side of the building and took a walk through. And when I came inside of this building and saw the spaces that were here, I fell in love with it. And everybody said, don't do that. Don't fall in love with the building, but I couldn't help it.
But you're not a developer by trade, are you?
No, actually, I'm a decorator. And I always thought that a decorator should develop a building because I've seen a lot of things developed without any taste at all, and it really bugs me. And I do have a background in architecture, so it's all something that has been in me for years and years, but it just took a while to come out.
And thanks to Matt's vision and dedication to this building, business in Escanaba is good.
During the project, a lot of people came up from Lansing and things to view our progress. And to a person, they all commented on the vibrancy of our downtown and how well we're doing compared to other communities our size. So Escanaba is a tough people, and we don't give up very easily. And we live in such a beautiful place that we do what it takes to live here.
Well, speaking of living here, I'd like to introduce you to the Lofty Girls, 3 young women whose businesses call this historic building home. Holly Nyland is the live-work Lofty Girl, and she runs her photography business right out of her cool apartment space.
How do you like this space here?
I love it. Before this, I was just doing senior pictures on location, but having this awesome live-work loft gives me the ability to shoot indoors. So now I'm opening up my business to do indoor beauty photography for women.
Now, what inspired you to start your own business here in Escanaba?
Well, I've always, I grew up in Escanaba, so I wanted to stay close to home, stay near my family, and it was just the perfect place to start a senior photography business.
So a live workspace is working out great for you?
Absolutely, except that I never stopped working.
Yeah, I know what that's like.
Yeah.
Now, if you're looking to accessorize in Escanaba, Lofty Girl Rachel Myron's Pink Sugar Boutique is the perfect place to start. Well, if you're a girl, that is.
So you're a Lofty Girl?
Yeah.
Well, I notice you guys all dress different. Don't you have uniforms or something?
We don't have uniforms, no.
Okay, well now tell me about your business. It's not that I don't like it, I can't find anything in here for me, but it looks like a lot of girly stuff.
Well, it's super girly. Pink Sugar Company, it was a dream of mine for a very long time. It has just came such a long way in such a short period of time, really fast. I found this spot in the Lofts on Ludington, and I just loved it. I knew right away that I had to quick sign some papers and get in here. I just think it's really unique. Love it.
Well, I understand business is real good for you.
It is. I'm doing good.
Okay. Nice going, Lofty Girl. So no uniforms, no capes?
No.
Salon Weston Spa is Ashley Westland's way of helping to beautify Escanaba.
Now, explain to me how the whole Lofty Girl thing happened.
Well, actually, I was in the building first, and then Rachel put in her shop, and Holly was debating as well. She ended up going in upstairs, and just being 3 young businesswomen, we thought we should get together, team up, So we came up with Lofty Girls, and we try to have events once a month to keep the three of us in check with the local people, see what they like, see what they love, and that's kind of how it came about.
How is town changing?
I think for the better. I'm hoping the building and the three of us girls so far in this business, our goal is to bring the big city to Escanaba. And we are hoping that that's what happens. I think it's changing for the better.
Yeah, I'm totally getting the feeling that this is helping change the town.
I think it is.
How is downtown changing in Escanaba?
We've been cooperating a lot with the Michigan State Housing Development Authority, and they have a program where they help downtowns fix up facades of buildings. And we've been actively participating in that. And our downtown is flourishing. New businesses are opening up all the time. So it's really something to see, Tom, that that reverse trend can happen. And it's always been our contention that the downtown is the heart of the city. And if that heart quits beating, you know, you could lose a city.
I'm telling you, towns like Escanaba are lucky to have places like this, and visionary people like the Svelins who are preserving the past and building the future all at the same time.
Hey, how'd you like to see a place that's been making candy longer than Willy Wonka? And it's right here in Escanaba.
Mike Kobasic and his family have been making great candy here at Sakeley's since before TV, household refrigerators, and even me.
On a daily basis, how much candy comes out of here?
On a daily basis, we go through about 2,000 pounds of chocolate and about 1,000 pounds of inclusions in the chocolate.
Well, your family's been doing this for how many years now?
My family personally has been doing it for about 33 years that I took over from my uncle, Fred Sakeley, and he was doing it for about 45 to 50 years before his father, Joe Sakeley, and he started in 1906.
Candy's been in the family a long time.
Yes, it has been in a long time, and we're getting good at it now.
Oh, you think? You love coming to work every day?
Yes. For me, it's not work.
Well, you're making candy, for God's sake.
I understand. But I enjoy doing this. Right, that's the other thing. The hard part is training everybody else to do it right.
You think you can train me?
Well, we have to still next go through a few other stations with you, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, we'll see.
If they're trainable.
Now, making candy is something I always thought was done by machines, but I quickly discovered that the good stuff is actually made by hand. So, well, you know me, I had to try my hand at it. Oh boy.
Ready? Switch. Oh my God. Wipe it. Next. Next.
No, it's got to come over here.
Oh, sorry. So I got to put it all the way over there? Yeah. Okay. Can I lick the spoon? No. Oh, no. I almost lost that one. I would be so tempted if I worked here to just, I'd have chocolate for lunch. I'd have chocolate for breakfast. I'd have chocolate during my break. Do you get chocolate breaks?
Well, I think I've just about mastered the fudge station. Now, on to dipping. I should be pretty good at that.
So, are you like a professional dipper?
No,
Because I'm a professional dip. So, what are you doing here? You're taking these, what are these?
Angel food.
This angel food, and you're just dipping it in the dark chocolate.
Yep, you just kind of roll it around, cover it up.
Right. It doesn't look difficult, except you know what you're doing. So I guess they want me to try this, so I'm going to try it.
Being a dip, I was a natural at dipping too.
I'll just go wash my hands now.
Now, I promise you won't be buying any of the candy that I made. That stuff's melting in the trunk as we speak. But what I can promise you is that if you like candy, you'll love Mike and the crew at Sakeley's Candies. They're the sweetest people I've met in a long time. Pun intended.
Okay, so you're in Escanaba and you're looking for a stuffed monkey, a decorative violin, a cuckoo clock, and the best food in town. Where do you go? Well, the Swedish Pantry, of course.
The Swedish Pantry is one of the most interesting restaurants you'll ever walk into. It's a gift shop, bakery, gallery, and eatery all rolled into a place that serves some of the best homemade Swedish food this side of the big pond. Lori Cosette explains why the Swedish Pantry continues to import hungry folks from around the world.
Are you a restaurant, a bakery, a gift store, or an art gallery?
All of the above.
Really? Well, I know one thing for sure, you have the best food in town because it says so about 8 times on the front of your building.
It's so good because it's all made from scratch. with lots of love.
You guys bake all your own, the baked goods too?
Yep, we make 7 different kinds of cookies from scratch, 7 different kinds of muffins, Swedish cardamom bread, Swedish rye, oatmeal, and white bread, and all of our Swedish specialties, the Swedish meatballs, homemade potato sausage.
Man, I'm gaining weight just listening.
If somebody's never been here, describe this place for me, because it's just wonderfully weird when you come in here.
Well, it's just, yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it. It's a unique, cozy, gifty atmosphere, and I guess it's real eclectic place.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah,
This place is
yeah.
extremely eclectic.
Yes, it is. Very
Well, what kind of people
eclectic.
usually come in here?
Well, we have a lot of local people, but then we get a lot of travelers too, because we have billboards on every end of town coming in, and then just a lot of referrals, friends telling friends from Texas to Arizona to, you know, all over the country, actually. They tell their friends, if you're heading through Escanaba, make sure you stop by the Swedish Pantry.
So what do you think this place means to the community?
Oh, I think it means a lot. For, like I said, one thing, you know, we get people to stop into downtown Escanaba, and then once they're here, we send them down to the lighthouse, to the lakefront. It's a gathering place for, say, you know, kids that leave and go to college and leave and go and have families. They come back home, and they can't wait to come back to the Swedish Pantry with their families, you know, and their kids and friends, and it's just it's a wonderful gathering place.
How much for the stuffed monkey?
$24.99.
I'll work out a deal. I'll do some dishes.
So if you like a side of eye candy with your comfort food, check out the Swedish Pantry. It's man, is there a lot of stuff in here.
They were out of cuckoo clocks.
The House of Ludington is a landmark that's been a part of Escanaba's landscape for well over a century. This historic inn has hosted royalty, celebrities, and dignitaries dating way back to the middle 1800s. Suzelle Eisenberg and her husband Ed now own the inn and are lovingly and single-handedly bringing this icon back to its glory days, one room at a time.
So I understand this building's been here for a while.
It has been. 1864 originally built.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you didn't build it, right?
No.
You look a lot younger than that.
That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
Yeah, give me a sense of the history of this place.
Well, it was built originally 1864 by a lumber baron, and so it had 100 lodging rooms and boarding house type thing. Then it went through 2 major fires, and so the husband and I kind of figured out we're like the 9th or 10th owner, and we have been here 15 years now. So the hotel, you know, as you can imagine, as times changed, you know, the hotel changed with those times.
Right.
And so it went, you know, from a boarding house to hotel rooms, and, you know, they got bigger and suites were made, that kind of thing. And then from there, you know, people started adding some apartments, and when we bought it, there was like 21 guest rooms, and we're going to, you know, just a limited amount of guest rooms, more apartments, and then, you know, we're a bar, restaurant, and a banquet facility.
What's it like being the steward of something so historic? I mean, you're taking care of something it's a major landmark in this area.
You know, it is, and, you know, we're not from the area. So when we bought it and we moved up here, you know, we knew we were buying a part of Escanaba's history. And, you know, people were so gracious and they were so glad that we came, because I really honestly believe that if Ed and I did not buy it, the hotel would not be here today. Because it was just such a big undertaking and such a huge renovation. And, you know, we say, you know, we own the hotel, but we're just the caregivers of it. You know, Escanaba owns the hotel.
Yeah, and you want this to be here in another 100 years, too.
Yeah, you know, you hope, you know, and again, like I said earlier, I think changes will be made. You know, and maybe it won't be what it is today, you know, a restaurant and so forth, but hopefully the building will always be here as something, as a landmark.
Right. Now, you're not originally from Escanaba. What brought you up here? What do you love about this area?
We actually, my husband had started coming up here since he was 9 years old fishing. And we bought, built a big log home downstate and wanted to always do like a bed and breakfast type thing. And ran into some opposition, and so we had heard about a place in Curtis, and we looked at that and fell in love with the area. I hadn't been up here that much. So we had decided, our children were young at that time, 5 and 7, and we decided that we wanted to raise children in the UP. And we would, on our free time, go around to different towns and travel and look to buy something. And we'd knock on doors and say, hey, is your business for sale? And they'd say, no. Or, you know, and so we came in and somebody said, well, what about the House of Ludington? And we came down, couldn't get into it, and finally did and said, oh my gosh, money pit, can't do it. But in our mind, we always came back to it. And we always said, if we don't do it, will we always say, what if? And if we do it and it doesn't work, it was only money.
What's wonderful is you're not even from here originally, but you've taken on this piece of history and you've helped save a part of Escanaba. And that, if that doesn't make you feel like you're a part of the community, nothing will.
Right. I think you have to go with your gut instinct, and if you have a dream, you have to do it.
So expect good things from the House of Ludington in the future, because when this kind of effort and attitude goes into something, all things are possible. They say if you want a good meal in Escanaba, that this is the place to go. Let's check it out. Welcome to the Stonehouse, a place that about 11 billion of our Facebook fans told us to visit when we were in Escanaba. And owner John Romps probably knows why.
I'm going to let you tell me why everybody tells us to eat here. Everybody says you got to go eat at the Stonehouse.
Consistency, I think. Yeah, that, and we buy the best we can buy, you know? So we've always done that, and I think that's really the key to our success. You know, you got to have good ingredients.
Well, you've been around a while.
The restaurant was opened in 1949.
Wow.
And we're the 4th owners.
So you're taking care of it temporarily.
Yeah. Yeah, we got guardianship, I guess you're right, yeah.
Well, this is a family affair. You've got sons working here?
Yes. Johnny is in charge of the kitchen, and Matt is in charge of the dining room.
Is he a chef?
Johnny's a chef. He just has it, you know, something you have.
Well, good, because I have the other part of it where I can eat really well.
Yeah.
So, you know, get along
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
This place is like a landmark destination, because obviously people even downstate, I'm a flatlander, a low plains drifter, as it were, from downstate, and people say, yeah, if you go to Escanaba, oh, you got to go to the Stonehouse. So,
yeah, we have a good reputation. It's nice. We're on a prominent corner, and we're pretty fortunate.
What's a place like this mean to the community overall, do you think?
Well, I think it helps in the sense that if you're coming in from out of town, if you're bringing guests in from out of town, you have a go-to place.
What do you love about this area? What do you love about Escanaba?
I think, you know what's great about Escanaba? You know, you're accepted here. Everyone is friendly. They don't care where you're from. You know, it's not cliquey. Everyone takes you in. It's been great the day we opened. It's been awesome. I mean, quality of life here, and we got it. It's a great place to raise a family, and yeah, very happy here.
Well, not only are John and his family happy to be in Escanaba, all the people we met at the Stonehouse were happy to be at the Stonehouse.
The food is fantastic. I'm more of a meat eater myself. Prime rib is excellent. The fish is excellent. You're just kind of dumbfounded on what you want to do to eat. Drinks are fantastic, and it's a fantastic place and wonderful people.
The food, the service, you walk in, it's like walking home. It's like family.
I love the bartenders and the waitresses and the way they make you feel welcome.
People come from all from Escanaba. Everybody knows the Stonehouse.
It's the best restaurant in the UP, no doubt in my mind.
Wait a minute.
John, Star, and their sons created a genuine Michigan recipe for success. And all of Escanaba are glad they're here. The next morning, we started the journey home, but not before stopping at Rosy's Diner. Now, if you like a pound of opinion and a side of good humor with your meals, Rosy cooks it up just the way you like it. We laughed, ate, laughed, and left. Rosy's Diner is the real deal. And as for Escanaba in the Sunlight, what more can I say? It's another great Michigan place to be.
Huh? Oh, boy, have you ever gone to somebody's website and you get there and it's kind of disappointing? Well, you should go to utrmichigan.com, because if you've never been there before, you won't know what to expect, so you can't be disappointed. You can go to our visitor's guide and find out places we've been, tell us where to go. You can jump to our Facebook page or even find out where to get a hat like mine, huh? So go to utrmichigan.com, and I promise you will not be disappointed. Watch. Aha! I love it.
Under the Radar Michigan is brought to you in part by the Michigan State Housing and Development Authority, investing in people, places, and partnerships to help transform Michigan and the Michigan economy. In cities, towns, and neighborhoods, people are building better places to live and better communities. Also by the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure. The Komen Race for the Cure series raises significant funds and awareness for the fight against breast cancer, celebrates breast cancer survivorship, and honors those who have lost their battle with the disease. More info at komen.org. Also in part by the Brides Project, a charitable bridal shop specializing in high-quality donated gowns. All proceeds help families touched by cancer at the Cancer Support Community of Greater Ann Arbor. Learn more at thebridesproject.org. Support for Under the Radar Michigan comes from Bigby Coffee, celebrating 17 years as a Michigan company. Gift cards, coffee mugs, and coffee by the pound are available in-store and online. Locations at biggby.com. Closed captioning for Under the Radar Michigan is made possible by Shamrock Travel in downtown Rochester. Shamrock Travel, providing complete travel services right here in Michigan for over 20 years.